Hello, welcome, how do you do? This is a very bad basement window. Falling apart that I've got held together with some duct tape for now. And it is about 14.5 by 30 roughly. So we're going to cut this frame, we're just going to cut the frame out. We'll pull the window out. Just take a reciprocating saw, cut the frame out. This is obviously concrete cement block, and put a new one in. This is the replacement that I bought at Lowe's. It's 32 by 14 and fits a 31 3/4 by 13 3/4 opening. It has, this is vinyl, and it has a channel right here where you put a couple screws in. So I'm going to determine if I need screws or not once I get it in and shimmed up. They recommend 2 screws on each side. However, I've seen other installations where they use expanding foam, and that seems to be enough. So I'll see how hard it is to put a couple screws into the concrete sides. Let's get going. I just made a first cut here, and it's pretty rotten. This pops out very easily because it's kind of rotten. So the originals look like, it's almost like it's, I don't know if they poured into the wet concrete. So the original has almost like a channel, I think. And I don't know if they've set that into the wet concrete, but there's no mechanical fasteners. So this whole frame just will pull right out. Just like that. Okay. Now I have this little concrete kind of ridge here, so I'm just knocking this out, cleaning this up just to smooth it up just a bit. I don't see any reason to leave that ridge there to interfere with caulk or anything. So I'm going to knock that out and clean the edges up best that I can. For my application, the fin is useless, so I have to cut the fin off. Just you do it with a utility knife and break the fin off. So it just breaks off, just score it a couple times and break the fin off. Nailing flange fin. So this has been much tighter fit than I anticipated. My measurements must have been off a little bit because I'm going to actually have to chip a little bit more of the concrete out for the horizontal measurement. The vertical measurement is plenty of room. So I'll probably shim that up with, maybe at the top I'll slice a piece of cedar. But horizontally I'm pretty tight. I'm going to have to, there must be a little occlusion, it must be a little bump here in the concrete that I didn't take into account. And of course it's raining out. Luckily it's not raining in too much. What I did here is I ended up, this is a very tight fit except for vertically, as I mentioned. Horizontal fit's very tight. I built a little, I took a 1/2 inch piece of oak and a piece of cedar. This is just slightly exposed to the exterior. I mean, it really, at this point probably doesn't get too much weather, primarily to create a stop, so that when I spray the foam in, it doesn't go blasting outside, and it creates a little bit of a better barrier to the exterior, if that makes sense. So I took a 1/2 by 6 inch piece of oak and just nailed a 1.5 inch piece of cedar to it. That creates the stop at the top so that there isn't a 3/4 inch gap. I'm always intrigued by products I've never seen before, and this is an expandable foam weather seal. Claims it expands to 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. 1 inch would be just about enough to cover my gap. So I'm going to put a strip of this on the top of the window, just on the exterior, kind of as a test to see how this performs. Now I'm also going to apply beads of caulk along the concrete as a seal. So let's see what this product does. This is interesting to me. For anchoring this to the concrete, I'm going to use these Tapcon, this Tapcon system. I've generally had reasonable luck with this. So I applied the tape to the exterior top edge, but I'm never going to really know the results because I realized I'm not going to be able to see that because it's covered by my trim piece. Okay, I let this sit overnight. Caulked the 3 sides. As indicated, I put a couple heavy beads on the concrete and then put the window in. Probably should have used white caulk. Would have made more sense than using clear. Should have thought ahead a little bit there, but that's okay. I think this is paintable caulk. So now I'm going to put in the upper void, use some great stuff to fill that in, because that's a good 1/2 inch or so. The other gaps are just too small for great stuff. So the installation's pretty good so far. I put the screws in the channel here using the concrete screws, the Tapcons. And whether the screws are 100% necessary, like I say, I've seen some guys just caulk these things in using great stuff, and using great stuff, probably regular caulk too would work, but I did put the mechanical fasteners in as well. Okay, so here we are with the spray foam sealing the window. I caulked around the edges, and let's clean it up. This is the finished installation. As you can see, I kind of caulked around the edges to seal it up. I used a little white caulk around the right and the left corners, and I smeared a little on the great stuff above, and I will paint it, touch up the caulk work. That's the only step left, but otherwise the installation is very nice. I like this window. It for a reasonable price. Vinyl, it's definitely 100% better than what I had there. And I'll probably finish this piece of oak at some point, trim it up a little bit. But because this is not a fancy basement, so I'm not as concerned about the aesthetics of this. I like the window. It works out well for the cost, and the installation, it was fairly simple. Hope this will help you, and please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.